I want to talk about a bombshell new article in Revolver News. Congrats again to Darren Beattie, the editor, which focuses on a very suspicious event that occurred right before January 6th. In fact, it occurred starting on January 5th, continued on January 6th. Now, Congressman Thomas Massie played this video for Merrick Garland when the Attorney General was testifying. I want you to see a part of it. Listen.
I know. In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
So I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it. Okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. Peacefully. Fed. Peacefully. Okay, folks, grab the word. As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction.
Wow. Think of how eye-opening this is. You basically have a guy starting January 5th egging people, egging Trumpsters. We got to storm the Capitol. We got to go in. We got to go in. And people don't want to do it. And you can see they suspect and they shout out, he's a Fed. He's part of the FBI. He's either an FBI agent himself or he's an informant. And of course, Merrick Garland, faced with this, you could see he was very evasive. He wasn't even looking at Congressman Massie. And of course, he gives the standard answer. I can't give any information about federal involvement in January 6th. But now you're beginning to see, visually, you put these clues together. It's very obvious that the feds are running a January 6th operation. Now, let's look at this guy. And here's where the Revolver expose comes in. He is Ray Epps. Now, Revolver didn't name him. The New York Times had named him earlier in an article. But this guy, Ray Epps, he lives in Arizona. He's one of the leaders of the so-called Oath Keepers. And he's a very, apparently, close associate of Stuart Rhodes, who is the head of the Oath Keepers. Now, here's something very interesting. Right after January 6th, this video, of course, existed. The FBI knows all about it. And initially, they put out the word, we're trying to find this guy. We're trying to identify him. We're trying to see who he is. And of course, left-wing sleuths went to work and they were able very quickly to do all kinds of matching. And they were able to chase this guy down. And they're like, yeah, we got him. It's this guy, Ray Epps, one of the Oath Keepers. And so the FBI promptly stuck Ray Epps prominently on the FBI most wanted list. They were desperate to get this guy because he was clearly you could see, an instigator of the storming of the Capitol. Then nothing happened. The FBI did not, in fact, go after Epps, even though his identity was known. In many cases, his location was known. And yet they never arrested him. They never evidently searched him. So he's on the FBI most wanted list, but he's just sort of sitting there. And meanwhile, the FBI is going after a mom here, a grandmom there, somebody who, quote, paraded in the Capitol, took a selfie. So these people are being locked up. And meanwhile, Stuart Rhodes, the head of the Oath Keepers, the guy who's actively involved in every aspect of the storming of the Capitol, giving instructions. He's, in fact, the basis of the conspiracy charges against other people who say the FBI they were in communication with Stuart Rhodes. But Stuart Rhodes has never been arrested. Stuart Rhodes has never been charged. And the same is true of Ray Epps. Now, interestingly, when the Revolver News broke the story and basically goes, what's happening with this guy, Ray Epps? What's happening with Stuart Rhodes? What does the FBI do? Without a word, they delete him. They delete his name from the most wanted list. Suddenly, he's no longer wanted. He's not longer the most wanted, he's no longer wanted at all. And if you think about it, try to ask yourself why the feds would do this. There's really only one plausible explanation. There's only one I can think of. And that's this. FBI agents and FBI informants never work alone. It is unlikely that Stuart Rhodes himself and by himself was the FBI man inside the Oath Keepers. Most likely the FBI had multiple people. In fact, we know this from the Whitmer operation, where the FBI had, 12 inside people trying to arrest even less than 12 people who are supposedly the conspirators. So the FBI has more people, their own guys, in the operation than were actually, quote, involved in the operation at all. And so it wouldn't be surprising if not only Stuart Rhodes, but also Ray Epps. So you see what's going on. They said Trump instigated this. Trump made them do it. But here you see a guy not saying, let's march peacefully and patriotic. Let's go in the Capitol. I might be arrested for this. But of course, he knows if he's an FBI informant, he's not going to be arrested for it. But all you suckers are going to be arrested for it. So you can see the enormous power of this. Well, it's circumstantial evidence, but circumstantial evidence refers to the circumstances of January 6th. And you can see the Biden administration doing its level best to hide this. This is part of the reason they don't want the documents out. They don't want the footage out. What they really don't want you to know is not the extent of, well, what did Republicans do? What did Trump do? The most important thing is, what did the FBI do? What did they do?